1, 2, 3.
Welcome to Arts and Leisure on the HAN Network. This is our weekly program featuring everything that is coming up in the area's music, arts, and entertainment scene. We will interview local artists, authors, musicians, and even some nationally recognized names who may be performing here in our area. We will have movie reviews and film suggestions from the real dad, Mark Schumann, and etiquette tips from Catherine Michaels. This is your all-access pass, and here are your hosts, Arts and Leisure editor Sally Sanders and our entertainment reporter Steve Coulter.
Welcome to Arts and Leisure on the HAN Network. I'm your host, Steve Coulter. I'm joined on the couch as always with my co-host Sally Sanders. And Sally, we're mourning the loss of a living legend, or no longer a living legend, a legend, Robert Vaughn, who passed away at the age of 83 on Friday.
Yes, he lived in Ridgefield for many, many years.
Yes, since 1982. So he's been a Ridgefield resident for 34 years. You remember him probably most from the mid-'60s series Man from U.N.C.L.E., where he played Napoleon Solo. One of the most iconic TV roles of all time.
And an interesting one, too. That was when James Bond was heating up.
Right.
And Norman Felton, who created the Man from U.N.C.L.E. series, United Nations Command for Law Enforcement, I believe
That's
it was.
Yep. Good job.
He sent his notes about the series to Ian Fleming, and was looking for a name for one of the lead characters, and Fleming came up with the name Napoleon Solo.
Oh, how interesting.
Yeah.
I was going to say, it sounds like kind of like a Bond villain almost. But
it does.
Yeah.
Well, Solo was a character in Goldfinger, a bad guy.
Yep.
And he just threw Napoleon on the front end.
And Goldfinger was the year before. It was 63, I think.
I think that's right, yeah.
And so you see a kind of a boom in the 60s with these series. The other comedy one we were talking about before the show.
Get Smart.
Get Smart,
followed,
that's right, yeah.
Followed after that. Also Wild Wild West, which was another kind of, set in the Wild Wild West, but spies with gimmicks and so forth. And I can't remember who starred in that. And another one, Mission Impossible. They all had that kind of winking seriousness about them, and I think Robert Vaughn was really a champion
he kick-started this huge trend.
But he had something about his style. He was able to seem both serious and also stepping back from the character and going, we all know this is
give
really
it a little brevity. Yeah. This is a show.
This is a show.
This isn't real events that are happening.
Yeah, and this is fun. We're having a good time. He and David McCallum, who's still on TV in NCIS, had a great pairing, and for the first couple of years, they really had that comic edge to it. That it was subtle, but it was there always. And when they got a little more serious, the show lost a lot of its
it was better
following.
When it was lighter.
Yeah.
105 episodes over 5 years in the mid-'60s. It was one of the most popular shows on TV.
And their boss was Leo G. Carroll, who was a star from early movies and just a great presence. I don't know. You've probably not seen films involving Topper, but
Topper? No, I don't think so.
No, but he played Topper in a movie that dates probably into the 30s. So he'd been around for a long time. He was like the adult presence in the room for these two really flashy
two young actors
guys, who were always having adventures, usually involving beautiful women.
Of course, that's a staple of the genre.
And all of the shows were named The Something Affair, if you look back at the IMDb list.
Yeah, I was seeing that. Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Yeah, but I mean, Robert Vaughn at that point had been a
very
well-known actor, had been nominated for an Academy Award.
Yep, The Young Philadelphians in 1960.
Which was it's the most wrenching performance if you've seen it.
I have not. I was going to go with the other 1961 that I have seen. That's a Magnificent Seven. So.
Oh yeah.
If people have watched the original of that's where they might have seen Robert Vaughn first in their life. But then, of course, obviously, Man from U.N.C.L.E. was his.
Yeah, his face was very distinctive.
Oh, sure.
Too. I mean, you never forgot it, and wherever he appeared. I recently saw a film that was also from the '60s, The Bridge to Remagen, and he plays a Nazi.
Oh wow!
Wearing a wonderful leather trench coat and a peaked hat, and he's very cold and you think he's just the most wicked person.
So he turns off the charm that he had from Man from
In
U.N.C.L.E.
the end he finds a little redemption, which is kind of nice. You like to see that.
Yeah, you don't want to root against him the whole time.
No.
And he also did Bullet in the 60s as well.
With Steve McQueen.
Right.
I mean, he was hanging out with the cool crowd in Hollywood.
Yeah.
That was pretty much it. And he said, I think when he moved to Ridgefield, he moved because he wanted to get his children into an environment that was a little bit less rarefied than the Hollywood scene.
But he remained very active. 226 career roles, according to his IMDb page. He was far from removed from Hollywood. He kept working up until this past year. Gold
And
Star
he would
came
work
out
in anything.
October. Yeah.
He was in how many Law and Order
He had
episodes?
3 different Law and Order series.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the SVU, and then he had one in the 90s. Yeah.
He did soap operas.
Right.
He played presidents. I think in TV performances, he did at least 3, maybe 4 presidents. I know he was Franklin Roosevelt and Harry Truman, and I forget who all else.
He never did Reagan?
Woodrow Wilson. No, I don't think he
Yeah.
did Reagan. That might have been a little close to the bone. He was a Californian born and bred, and
very active politically. He was more than just an actor.
he was chairman of the Democratic Party in
Yep.
California, and
he covered the National Convention in 1972.
yeah, and he had a doctorate in political science.
Yep.
So
His book, where is it? Only Victims: A Study of Show Business Blacklisting, is still used today in college classrooms.
Yeah. Yeah, so he was a multi-talented and very, very busy person, and for Ridgefielders, he was Robert Vaughn. He was in the stationery store on Main Street.
He didn't shy away from. He didn't just live in his mansion home.
No,
he came into town. Yeah.
No, I mean, my son was on a little league team with him. Everybody knew who he was, and kind of just went, oh, there he is. But I think he felt comfortable in town. It was a place where he was pretty much ignored.
Yeah, they weren't going to run up and take photos of him and
No.
ask for his autograph. Now, he moved into town in the 80s, as we said, Sunset Hall. Correct?
Yeah.
Was that his first home?
That was his,
Yep,
yes.
on Old West Mountain Road, and then he's moved since then. But his first property was as lavish
an
as
amazing,
you could,
an amazing mansion. I mean, when he said he was, coming to Connecticut to pursue the simple life, it was a little bit.
Yeah, it was like a Great Gatsby type.
It was a
mansion home.
beautiful, beautiful place. It had been restored. I think it was originally built for Harry Houdini's brother.
Yeah.
And
in early 1912.
and then it became a St. Vincent de Paul novitiate, and people bought it and restored it again. And I think the Vaughns moved in after it had been restored. It's just a lovely place.
Yeah, and now it's turning into a drug rehab facility. You kind of a listing of those.
We consider ourselves a family business. We follow a lean manufacturing philosophy where we always try to get everybody involved and continuously improving the company. We've been doing business with Milford Bank for, I'd say, 20 or 25 years now. They work hard to know your business, and they really just give you that personalized attention you need in any of your business or personal banking needs. Paul Hoffman from Orange Research, and I choose to bank with the Milford Bank.
Have a sports injury or a slip and fall that needs immediate care? Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care gives you direct access to an orthopedic specialist fast, without an appointment. Biking, golf, tennis, soccer, whatever the sports injury is, sprain or fracture, Coastal Ortho Express can help. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care, open Monday through Saturday, now in 2 locations. The iPark building at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk and 36 Old Kings Highway South in Darien. Or go to coastalorthoexpress.com, like them on Facebook.
This fall, explore the beautiful landscape enhanced by the architectural design and art at the Philip Johnson Glass House in New Canaan. Open for the season now through November 30th, the Glass House is a National Trust historic site that sits on 49 acres of pastoral landscape, comprised of 14 total structures, and a permanent collection of 20th century painting and sculpture, as well as temporary exhibitions. Tours are available on Sunday, Monday, and Thursdays through Saturdays. Advance reservations are recommended. Visit theglasshouse.org for more information and to get your tickets.
Washington Prime, now open on Main Street in Georgetown. Come enjoy our relaxed setting, excellent service, award-winning nightly happy hours, and feast on our creative new American cuisine. Connecticut Magazine's winner for Best Steak, Washington Prime of Georgetown.
The leaves are changing, water temps dropping, and the sun is setting a little earlier each day. But there's still a lot of great boating, fishing, and coast time left before we see the first snow. And above all, remember, it's always summer at the Dock Shop. With loads of new fishing tackle and accessories, clothing, jewelry, and home decor, the Dock Shop is just what you need when you start to feel that New England autumn chill. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, dockshop.com.
If you're watching this broadcast, you're not alone. The HAN network is available for 200,000 Connecticut cable customers on the Frontier Network, and we've also reached 1.7 million viewers on our free live streaming sports, news, and entertainment broadcasts. To reach our rapidly growing audience, contact Advertising Director Jessica Murrin at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
Welcome back to Arts and Leisure on the HAN network. Sally and I are going to give you some weekend highlights because this is the busiest weekend.
Just a few ideas. For the total list, go to arts.hersamacorn.com and look at the weekend activities. It's beyond anything we could tell you here.
Yeah, exactly. It's a long list. Ann's Place is the first one we want to talk about. They're hosting the Festival of Trees this week, starting Thursday the 17th, running through Sunday the 20th. That's going to be at the Matrix Conference and Banquet Center in Danbury off of I-84. There's going to be dozens of decorated trees and holiday decorations. The festival includes a Prohibition tree party.
I think that involves drinking.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm assuming that's a boozy activity. That's 6:30 to 10:30 on Thursday. 6:30 to 10:30 as well on Friday is Tapes and Trees Craft Beer Night. So
yeah,
that's kind of the theme of the whole weekend is
celebrating.
Yeah, I was going to say imbibing a little bit. General admission on Friday and Sunday is from 10 to 4. Saturday is 10 to 7. On Saturday, there's a Lego Artist Challenge. That sounds like a lot of fun. My brother would be into that. A robotics competition, character teas, and a Polar Express pajama party. So
there's lots of stuff for kids, too.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's more than just drinking.
Yeah.
And for more details and reservations, visit Ann's Place, festivalofTrees.org.
Ann's Place is a support center for people who have cancer, so it's a really important charity.
Yeah, this is their biggest fundraiser.
Yeah. Okay, it's a busy weekend in Ridgefield. There are all kinds of holiday fairs and markets and so forth going on. Artique opens Thursday night at St. Stephen's North Hall, and that's a group of artisans, a lot of clay artists. So if you're looking for any kind of gifts of pottery, this would be the place to go. St. Stephen's is at 351 Main Street in Ridgefield, and Artique is going to run Thursday evening from 6:30 to 8:30 when they have live music and refreshments, and then Friday and Saturday from 10 to 5. There's also the Ridgefield Guild of Artists Festive Home Show, which is opening Friday evening with a party from 6 to 8:30, and there is an admission charge of $20 for that. Afterwards, the show is open through December 23rd, and it's free admission, all kinds of gifts. Great place for...
You could make a weekend of just doing...
shopping around Ridgefield?
One event to another.
Yeah, there's a wreath festival in Ridgefield at Founders Hall on Saturday and Sunday, and Monday from 10 to 4. Founders Hall is the senior center in Ridgefield, and that's on Danbury Road. And there's a craft fair on Saturday at East Ridge Middle School, sponsored by the Ridgefield Women's Club. So those are holiday in Ridgefield events.
Yeah. There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
The Richfield Theater Barn is going to be staging 39 Steps, which is an Alfred Hitchcock film adapted by Patrick Barlow and John Buchan, I should say, directed by Catherine Ray. The opening night is Friday, November 18th, and the performances are going to continue throughout the weekend. They begin at 8 o'clock, and they're going to run through December 10th. Seating is cabaret style, so you can bring your own wine and watch the performance. It's very confined in there. It's very tight setting.
Yeah.
But it's fun.
Yeah.
I got to do it a couple months ago. Tickets are $24 for adults, $20 for students. Seniors and veterans also are $20 for reservations, and more information visit ridgefieldtheaterbarn.org.
Okay, there's a home craft fair in Greenwich this weekend, and it supports a group of artisans in Maine who this is a big way they make income. And these are all handmade Christmas decorations, quilts, gifts, pottery, wooden toys, weavings, homemade jams, maple syrup, and more. And all proceeds go directly to home workers organized for more employment. That's going to be at the First Congregational Church, 108 Sound Beach Avenue in Old Greenwich. That's a
That should
pretty
be a lot
place
of
to
fun.
visit. Hours are 9 to 4 on Saturday and 11 to 1 on Sunday. For more information, call 203-247-5571.
Now, we had Dave Sigworth on a couple weeks ago to talk about this. This is a fun one. The Maritime
Yeah.
Aquarium is having its Festival of Lighthouses. That's going to begin this weekend. It's the 15th anniversary of you submit large model lighthouses, and they go on display starting Saturday at the aquarium in Norwalk, or South Norwalk, I should say. There are 17 of them to see this year. The visions of local artists, hobbyists, families, and students are going to be competing for a top prize, which is worth $1,500. The aquarium visitors can vote on their favorite, and the winner will be announced in mid-January. For more information, visit maritimeaquarium.org or call 203-852-0700. And again, Dave was so great to come on and talk about that. That's a really fun event they always have there.
This one caught my eye. The New Haven Museum is having an exhibit of photographs called Road Trip.
Oh,
and
nice.
these are there's one. That's a creamery restaurant in I think that's Rhode Island. But they're going to have a special members first look on Saturday, November 19th, and that runs from 5 to 8 p.m. And then the show is going to be open through next June, so you got plenty of time to go see it. The New Haven Museum's at 114 Whitney Avenue in New Haven. For more information, newhavenmuseum.org is the place to look.
Museum.
It's
Nice or no?
They have some good exhibits. Yeah, they have some interesting ones. A couple other just artsy things. The Clay Arts Center is having their Clay Holiday Annual Sale and Studio Tour this weekend, and you can get more information at clayartcenter.org. They're in Port Chester on 40 Beach Street. And Monothon, which is the big fundraiser for the Center for Contemporary Printmaking, is going to have its fundraising party.
There's the Monothon right there.
Yeah, that's a work by Bill Jacklin, who's one of the professionals who's exhibiting at the show. You can bid on prints that have been made in the past month at the Center for Printmaking. They have a group of artists who come in and just basically do a marathon of printmaking, and all of these prints are auctioned off to benefit the center. The party this year, though, is going to be at the Carriage Barn Arts Center in New Canaan rather than at the center in Norwalk.
Okay.
So you can get more information for that at Contemprints. It's CONTEMPRINTS.org, or call them at 203-899-7999.
It's another good idea for holiday gift giving as well. Right?
Exactly.
And speaking of holidays, Thanksgiving is coming up, of course, next Thursday. Stamford is beating New York to the punch. They're hosting their parade this weekend.
It's a biggie.
And it's a biggie on Sunday. It's the UBS Parade Spectacular in downtown Stamford. It has giant balloons, floats, marching bands. It's going to start at noon from Hoyt and Summer Streets and proceed along to Summer, to Broad, to Atlantic. There will be a balloon inflation party on Saturday afternoon from 3 to 6 at Hoyt and Summer Streets. For more information, Stamford-downtown.com.
Yeah.
That should be a fun one.
Yeah, that's always good.
Yeah, I was going to say it gets you in the mood for the big Macy's Day festival that
Yeah, and
I've
believe
never
it or
gone
not,
to, believe it or not, yeah.
we're almost to Thanksgiving.
Unbelievable, 10 days.
Yeah, and we won't be here next week.
We won't be. But we are going to come back after the commercial break and give you kind of a preview of the holiday, the next 2 weekends in movies, as well as some other pictures to see that are already out.
Yeah.
We'll be back after the break with that segment.
Discover a world of wellness in the heart of New Canaan. Halo Studios, New Canaan's first collaborative wellness center, offers you the freedom to choose from the best and latest health, fitness, and wellness options. Inside Halo Studios, you'll find all the wellness experts you need at places like Halo Fitness, Priority Wellness, and Sama Yoga Center. Come by for a free wellness assessment, open 7 days a week at 45 Grove Street. For more information, visit halostudios.com or call 203-594-9909.
On time, done right, safe and reliable. Mr. Handyman CT.com.
Let our satisfied customers tell it.
I have called Mr. Handyman for every reason, every occasion, every broken item, every leak. They have bailed me out on many occasions, and I would recommend them to anyone.
For any project, large or small.
Mr. Handyman CT.com.
At Whip Blow Dry Bar and Salon of Ridgefield, it's all about creating a hassle-free, high-end experience for the entire family. Open 7 days a week, the makeup and hairstyle salon on Governor Street has it all. From color services, men's haircuts with a complimentary microbrew, affordable kids cuts, and more. And our blowout package includes a shampoo, scalp massage, blowout of your choice, and a lipstick application done by a celebrity makeup artist. Download the Whip Salon app to view the styles and book appointments. Get more information at whipsalon.com, 203-442-6444, or find Whip on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
I really wanted something that felt like a home. Coming from a big house, I wanted the feel of a home as opposed to a condo. My property taxes on my single-family home were close to $20,000 a year. Now that I've downsized and I'm in a townhome, and because of the condo tax laws, my fees have gone from $20,000 down to about $5,300 with the star exemption. There is no other townhome that compares in the area. This is where I want to be.
I'm Frank Granito.
And I'm Donald Ng for the HAN Network.
Tune in to Nutmeg Sports Monday through Thursday, where we bring you all the top stories from Connecticut sports.
From highlights to player interviews and expert analysis, no one gets you closer to Connecticut's games than Nutmeg Sports.
Nutmeg Sports, now Monday through Thursday at 2 p.m. on the HAN Network.
Welcome back to Arts and Leisure on the HAN Network. Sally and I are here to give some recommendations. 10 days until Thanksgiving.
Things we're looking forward to.
Yeah, big movie weekend this weekend, another big movie weekend coming the following weekend. There's a lot of good big movies out, and there's a lot of small art house movies out, several of which are already out right now. Moonlight, I know, is playing at Bethel Cinema. That's definitely number one on my list to go see. Arrival came out last week. That's the new Denis Villeneuve film starring Amy Adams and Jeremy Renner. That's getting really good reviews. Hacksaw Ridge, the new Mel Gibson movie, is also already out. That's playing at Prospector Theater. So that takes care of all the movies that are already out. And then there's still a long list of movies that are coming out in the next 2 weeks.
Before we do that, I want to just tell you this. I saw a study this morning done in Holland about movies that win prizes. And the most Oscar nominees are usually from December, but the most winners October, November.
Yep.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised to see Moonlight is the Best Picture winner this year from everything I've heard.
You think so?
That's the coming of age story. It takes place over 3 different time periods.
Beautifully acted.
Yeah, in Miami, right around the time of kind of the drug wars, and it's kind of like Boyhood, but for an African American who's living in Miami during the rise of. But it's basically a story of a coming of age story of a young kid who becomes a teen, who becomes a man. So very much in the line of Boyhood, but with a lot more drama and history kind of surrounding it. And he's also not aging like the guy in Boyhood. There's 3 different actors playing the main character.
You didn't mention also in movies that are already out, Doctor Strange, which has won the box office 2 weeks in a row.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, it's doing very well.
Yeah, that's Benedict Cumberbatch in the Marvel Universe's latest tentpole.
Yeah.
That's a big budget one to go see, and then there's obviously Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. That's kind of the next big tentpole from Hollywood.
That's a J.K. Rowling.
Yep.
And she's got a bunch.
Yeah, she's
ready to roll.
She's got plenty of money, and she's going to be making more off of these. I think this is going to be 3 movies? Is that right? With Eddie Redmayne and Colin Farrell's in support. There's plenty of other actors. Oh, there's 5.
Catherine Waterston.
Eric's telling us there's 5. Yeah. Not a surprise, actually.
No.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
could even be 7.
Once she starts spinning stories, she can't hardly stop.
Yeah,
so,
that's right.
We got to keep it going. I was interested. This is kind of a smaller one. Bleed for This.
Yes, the Miles Teller boxing movie.
Yeah, and I was just thinking about Miles Teller and his poor hands.
Yeah, and that's Aaron Eckhart behind him, by the way.
Is it really?
That's Harvey Dent. Yeah.
Wow.
It's hard. He's obviously wearing a nice balding cap there.
Yeah.
But It could be potential Oscar nomination for Miles Teller.
Yeah.
He didn't receive one for Whiplash, so that'll be his first. And Aaron Eckhart, surprisingly, has also never been nominated for an Oscar, so 2 potential, obviously Aaron being the supporting and Miles being the lead, but could be Oscar bait for the acting category. I think the Best Actor Oscar has already been handed out, though, and I think Casey Affleck's going to win it for Manchester by the Sea, which comes out this weekend. And he stars as obviously an uncle to a child who lost his father, and it's kind of his path to becoming the parent, and it looks very good. I know Mark, our real dad, he reviewed it. He saw it at New York Film Festival, and he gave it 5 out of 5 popcorns. I'm very excited to see that one. I think that one's going to be a contender.
I think this
in the
is
Oscar
also,
season.
a film where people who have an older sibling are rooting for Casey Affleck just to get out from under Ben's shadow and show what he can do. I mean, he's been around since Good Will Hunting.
Yeah.
And he's had some great roles, but
he
this is
was
the
nominated
one.
in
This is the
2007
one.
for a supporting actor nod for Jesse James, the assassin of
Yeah.
Jesse James. He was Robert Ford. He was very good in that. He's been good in pretty much everything he's been in the last decade. He's been the best.
But this is his film.
I think so, yeah, and I think that comes out this weekend. That's definitely top of my list. After I see Moonlight and Arrival, Manchester by the Sea would probably be 3rd on my list of must see. What else are you looking forward to?
Well, those were. I'm kind of curious about Nocturnal Animals.
Yes, another Amy Adams movie.
Yeah,
It's
because
kind of a theme
really
this year. There's certain actors that are in several movies.
I really like Amy Adams, and this isn't a real noir, dark,
Jake Gyllenhaal.
twisted around.
Right.
Yeah, you don't want to give too much away of the plot, but
he plays a
should be good.
writer, and he writes
the story of
the story that is the movie.
Or is it?
Or is it? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
As you said, it's very mysterious.
Yeah.
As I mentioned, Amy Adams is in 2 movies. We talked about Hacksaw Ridge there briefly. Andrew Garfield's going to be in Silence, which comes out on Christmas. That's the new Martin Scorsese movie.
And what's that?
Tell me more. It's priests in Japan, and so Liam Neeson and Andrew Garfield. It's that one I think will contend also for Best Picture, as it's a kind of a late movie.
Yeah.
You can never count out Martin Scorsese, and it's been 10 years since The Departed has won, so I think he might be due for another statue.
Well, of course, La La Land is one that
That'll be the
everybody's
big
looking
one, yeah.
forward to. Just, I mean, looking for some uplift and happiness and just goofiness, and those two, Ryan Gosling and Emma
And you can
Stone.
never not say this statement enough, and I'll probably say it 12 times before Oscars. The movie is about movies. It's about LA.
And that
gives
always
it,
wins.
And, yeah, that gives it an inherent advantage over every other movie that we're going to be talking about over the next 3 months as this race heats up. It's filmed wonderfully from what I've seen and what I've heard, and the performances are obviously great. But the fact that it's about an actor or an actress and a jazz musician in Los Angeles, I think gives it a distinct advantage over some of these other movies.
Okay.
The location really helps.
How about Hidden Figures? That's
Hidden
a little bit
Figures,
later.
And Fences
and
are
Fences
both going to come out around Christmas time.
on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so Hidden Figures is that's Taraji B. Henson.
And Octavia Spencer.
Right. And then
It's
Fences is
interesting.
Denzel and Viola Davis.
Yeah, so you've got the 2 stars of The Help are coming out in movies on the same day.
Right.
Yeah.
And Viola Davis, as big of a lock as Casey Affleck is for Best Actor, I think she might have the best supporting actress category locked up. And Denzel directing behind the camera as well as starring in Fences, which has gotten really good reviews early on. I would say that's going to compete with La La Land as well in the Best Picture category. Hard to say what's the favorite right now. Although Moonlight and Fences seem to have an advantage. Manchester by the Sea, La La Land, and then
Sully?
of course.
Do you think Sully's going to rise back up, or
Sully
you think
came
that's
in
gone?
too early. Yeah.
Okay.
I think the latest one that's coming out, which is going to be the most interesting, is The Founder with Michael Keaton, which we've talked about.
Wow. Yeah.
It was supposed to come out in August. It got pushed to December, early December, and now it's been pushed to January. But it's limited release.
Yeah,
so it gets in just on the deadline. So there's plenty of Oscar storylines that we're going to be following here on our show. This weekend, though, some good movies coming out, and then of course over Thanksgiving, Fantastic Beasts coming out. So there's plenty to go to the movies and get excited about. This is the best time of the year for movies.
You know, when it's dark out, it's a good time to go to the movies.
Yeah, the sun goes down at 5. It's time to go to the theater.
Yep.
That concludes today's show. We'll be back in 2 weeks after Thanksgiving. Everybody have a great and safe holiday. Travel safely, have fun with the family, and we'll be back after Thanksgiving.